Prime Minister Justin Trudeau joins us now from Ottawa. Prime Minister, good morning.
Good morning, Matt.
These are anxious times, and we'll start with the times in your own household. Your wife has been diagnosed with COVID-19. How is she doing?
She's doing fine. She's basically got mild flu-like symptoms. She's getting lots of rest and drinking lots of fluids, and we're paying very close attention to what the medical professionals are saying. I'm feeling fine, no symptoms. The kids are all fine. Happy to be staying home from school. We're doing well. I'm working from home. We've got a cabinet meeting on COVID on the phone in a few minutes. Yesterday I spoke with a number of world leaders. I spoke with a number of our ministers. We're really focused on obviously the health side of things and on the economic side of things, and we're going to have lots of work to do and lots of announcements to be making.
Let me talk about the economic side of things. There's real anxiety in this country right now. People are worried about their livelihoods. They can't go to work. Businesses are suffering. What can be done to help people now?
Well, we've put out a number of measures already to support businesses with access to credit, but we know that there's lots more to do. People are going to be having to stay home. They're going to be worried about paying their rent, supporting their loved ones, taking care of groceries, really tangible things that are going to be worrying people, and we are going to be putting in place measures to support people to make sure that they can make ends meet, that they can focus on their families while we're going through a really difficult time economically, where a lot of people are going to be doing like me, working from home. Others won't be able to, and we'll need that extra support, and that's exactly what we're focused on.
Measures like what? Would you consider, for example, rent and mortgage relief for people who are worried about actually paying those bills to keep a roof over their head?
We are looking at everything. We know that on top of the worries about their health and their loved ones' health, they shouldn't be worried about whether or not they're going to be able to make rent or whether or not they're going to be able to afford medications or groceries. We are looking at many different ways, and we'll settle on one soon, to be able to make sure that people have the money in the pockets they need during this really difficult time.
How soon can that money get out the door? Again, people are worried now about what's happening.
Yeah, people are worried, and as are we, and that's why I had a long conversation with our finance minister last night. I've been talking with other world leaders, from Boris Johnson to Donald Trump to Giuseppe Conte to others, about what they're doing, what mechanisms they have, what ideas they've found have worked for them. We're going to make sure that we're getting help to Canadians. That's what people need right now, on top of everything else, and we're going to do that.
We've been hearing from healthcare workers this morning. They're concerned that an already stretched system, which sees people being treated in hallways and in dining rooms in hospitals, that system could be put beyond the brink if the wave of cases that people are expecting actually arrives. What can be done to prevent that system overload?
Well, the big part, and people are talking about this, making sure we're flattening the curve, and that means following medical advice and health professionals' advice, and staying home if you start to have symptoms, if there are any concerns that you have, looking to really reduce your contact, particularly if there's questions of vulnerability, whether it's more elderly people or issues around respiratory illnesses or conditions pre-existing. We're going to be moving forward with more measures at airports. We're going to be moving forward with more measures to ensure that people know that there are behaviors that are going to keep us all safe. And as I said a couple of days ago, this is a global situation, but instead of feeling completely powerless, Canadians do have the capacity to affect how this unfolds here in Canada and to a certain measure around the world by making smart decisions now. And I think that's what we're going to keep encouraging people to do and enabling them to do with things like income supports.
As you say, this is a global situation. We've seen the United States controversially close its borders when it comes to flights coming in from Europe. Some provinces are recommending that people stay home for March break and don't travel. What else are you considering when it comes to border security?
We are looking at making a recommendation that people not travel outside the country except for essential purposes. That's an announcement that will probably be made a little later today. There are a number of measures we're going to be bringing at the airports. We are coordinating closely with the United States on the measures that they're putting forward. As you'll remember, a number of weeks ago, we didn't make the same decisions that the Americans did around closing the borders, and we relied on our public health officials and our experts on how we needed to keep Canadians safe, and it worked quite well. I mean, we were able to make sure that Canada stays very low in the terms of cases, and we were able to trace and control the cases. We seem to be approaching a different phase right now, and we will make sure that we follow all the advice of our very top experts.
Just finally, I know that you're going to be addressing the nation later today. These are anxious times and people are really worried. What is your message to Canadians, people who are lining up in grocery stores trying to buy supplies, people who are worried about again, their livelihoods, about kids not going to school? What's your message to Canadians going to be?
The message is one of reassurance that, yes, there is reason to be worried. There is reason to make smart choices, but we're going to be able to get through this, that if everyone does follow the advice of our medical experts and professionals, as I'm doing, as everyone is trying to do, we can make a positive difference in how this unfolds. We will be there for each other. This is what Canada does. And a reminder that unlike many other countries around the world, Canada has a really strong fiscal position that allows us to invest and support people during this time of crisis that is going to allow us to bounce back from it once we're through it. So people can have confidence that we have the means to help each other out, and that's exactly what we're going to do.
Prime Minister, appreciate your time, and as I'm saying to everybody these days, it seems like stay healthy.
That's the plan. Thank you so much, Matt.
Prime Minister Justin Trudeau in Ottawa.